Diran Odeyemi, PDP's former Deputy National Publicity Secretary, joins me now to put the judgment of the Supreme Court into some perspective. Thank you for giving us your time tonight. I mean, it seems there are still factions within the PDP. The Supreme Court judgment came out today, and we're having varying interpretation. From your part, what is your interpretation of this court judgment?
To me, it is still a good development. It offers the party another opportunity to call everybody together and reconcile whatever is our differences. It is not that we don't have this internal mechanism of resolving issues, even within the constitution of the party. The problem is, to what effect have we put that into use, which is part of the reasons why we are still in crisis up to now. But with this judgment, and especially if you listen to Mr. Anyanwu, what he said is that he has not defeated anybody. That means there is still room for reconciliation. Let us all come together. Okoye is a member of the party. Anyanwu is a member of the party. Let's set aside whatever is the personal differences.
Diro, aren't you just being quite polite when you say that the person who Sunday is saying he's not fighting anyone? He took this matter all the way to the Supreme Court. If it is an internal matter that could have been, discussed and rectified, we wouldn't be here today, would we? And as it stands, we have the Debo Publicity Secretary, saying that it is an affirmation that Udeh is the National Publicity Secretary because the court has said, go back to your constitution, and that Sunday flouted that after he resigned to go contest for governorship election.
You see, there are a lot of laxities in the party's constitution. And I personally have advised and have called for a review of that constitution. The constitution we have been using since 2017, politicians, get wiser on a daily basis. I think there is need for us for the constitution to be reviewed. Look at it this way. I read the constitution as a former Deputy National Publicity Secretary. I have an idea of what the constitution says. The constitution did not say that if you go and contest for a position, you will automatically lose your position, your party position. It doesn't say that. Rather, what it says is, if you are appointed or you become somebody, or maybe you win an election, you automatically lose that position. That lacuna, that it was not expressly stated that you will lose your position once you leave that seat to go and contest. You don't need any lawyer to interpret that to you. So I knew within my mind that Anyanwu played on that laxity within that constitution to go and contest and have that ability to even come back as the secretary. So it is purely a constitutional issue, which if the party had reviewed that constitution, we wouldn't be in this situation. But at the same time, you cannot rule out the element of politics behind this court issue. Element of politics in the sense that there are some people who push that man to go to the court against Anyanwu, pretending as if it is not the party. But let's put behind us whatever has happened. We have come out of the Supreme Court now. Let us see how we are going to move forward with this.
I'm going to sound a bit more, a lot more skeptical when I say that, the judgment came today, and we had the Debo National Publicity Secretary speak on behalf of the party, saying that Udeh-Okoye, I believe, is the secretary that the Supreme Court affirmed that. So is he speaking for the party? Or, which faction are we actually listening to at this moment? Which do you belong to?
I want to believe, and I know that Debo Ologunagba, who happens to be the present National Publicity Secretary of the party, is a lawyer. He knows once the Supreme Court pronounced a judgment, the judgment is binding on the party. So I don't understand the interpretation.
But what the Supreme Court did, sir, what the Supreme Court did was to nullify the decisions of the lower court, but it denied Anyanwu's request to declare him as the National Publicity Secretary of the party. The courts clearly did not take that position. What the courts did today was to say, go back to your constitution. So this is a little hazy now, because your constitution, it seems that if you resign from, I mean, even from a moral standpoint, when people are sitting by and watching from the sidelines, somebody resigns to go contest for a governorship position and then comes back because he lost and comes back. I mean, if you were in that scenario as somebody looking on, what would you be thinking at this stage? Would, for the interest of the party, would they come back and, you know, respect the choice if the party decides that Samuel remains the secretary?
It will be totally immoral to say that he resigned and came back after losing the governorship election. No, that wasn't the position. The position is he did not resign at all. He was still playing the role of the secretary of the party.
Well, I'm speaking from what is in the public domain, sir. I'm speaking from what is in the public domain. The stories of all the papers that I read today said
I am trying to correct that impression.
So what did he actually do? Is it within the constitution of the party that somebody can resign from a role?
He didn't resign. Let's put that clear.
Is it possible to, okay, is it possible to be working as a national secretary and contesting the position of a state governor? These are two separate responsibilities.
That is why I said there is a problem with the constitution which the PDP is operating with. It is not stated in the constitution that you have to resign your position as a national officer before you can contest an election. If that had been the position, we wouldn't be where we are today. So Anyanwu did not resign. You say it's a misconception to say he resigned. He did not resign.
I guess it's fair to say thank you for that clarification.
And for the governorship of Imo State, he was still acting as the secretary in his position.
Okay, so anyway, that's bygone now. I guess it's looking forward to what happens in the coming days. Do you think, based on the aftermath of the Supreme Court judgment, the reactions that have come, that this is actually an opportunity to reconcile all parties and focus the party on doing something more as an opposition in the country?
That was the beginning of my statement when I appeared this night, that it affords the PDP another opportunity to sit everybody down on the round table to talk about reconciliation. It is enough of us taking ourselves to court. It is a shame that we are not professing ourselves as a credible opposition in this country today. It is even a shame on whoever occupies that position or the people occupying the position of the BOT. If as leaders and elders of the party, we are still dragging issues from 2026 election up till now, then it's a shame. This is another opportunity that the Supreme Court has offered, which is that go back to your party, go and resolve it, go and use the internal mechanism to resolve it. What I expect from the party now is to call a meeting that will even involve Okoye himself and Anyanwu and everybody. Let us see where we have erred.
I hope your optimism and your faith translates to reality, because from what we are sitting and looking, it doesn't seem like the matter has been resolved. But thank you for the clarification, because the report is Anyanwu did resign before he moved on. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.